How are you? How are you?
Sharp with it?
Sharp, man.
I'm good, I'm good. So, your names, please introduce yourselves. Tell me who you are. And, yeah.
Nagalina Gena Boyo Diketso Wagamashile.
Nagalina Gena Mabala Zakaria Kwakwa Kichokele Seshiro. I'm 30 years of age.
Okay, great. So tell me, who are you guys? What do you do? What is Chillers on Wheels? You know, where are you coming from?
I think Chillers on Wheels was funded 6 years ago by myself and Diketo. We funded the company after we saw a huge gap in the sanitation and mobile refrigeration logistics industry. And then, yeah, that is where Chillers on Wheels originated from. We funded the company, and then, yeah, we've been working in the company ever since.
Okay, great. And you, Mr. Guya?
Oh, Chillers on Wheels, it's a mobile toilet company, like Sagi said, and refrigeration. We started it in 2014. Yes, without any registered name. We never registered. I think we registered it after 2 years or 3 years in operation without any bank account. We were using Saki's personal account.
Yeah. That's
how we started. Okay. And we are both qualified electricians. We were working for some company called Eskom. But now we both resigned. We are full-time in Chillers on Wheels.
Oh, that's nice. So tell me, how has the journey been throughout the years? You know, probably 5 years now, over 5 years now, ne?
Yes.
Yeah, 6 years.
So how has the journey been from the beginning? Like you telling me that you're using one of you guys' personal account. You know? You didn't have a business account back then, but things started to add up as time goes on. So I want to hear from you, how has the journey been throughout the years?
I think from our side, the journey has been rather quite interesting. But I think a lot of things was just the grace of God, you know. We would laugh about how we would do things that big companies are doing already without any knowledge or background of a business, what a business is. So it's been quite tough, but yeah, we were learning a lot, we were improving a lot. And I think the toughest thing was that we had to juggle between our 8 to 4 jobs and running a business. So literally for the past 6 years, we haven't had any life outside the business, because once you knock off from work, you go straight to the business almost on a daily basis. You don't have weekends. So it's been quite tough and a very big sacrifice from our side. Yeah.
And for you, Mr. Buyo, how has the journey?
It has been exciting, man. Remember, me and him, we are qualified electricians. We knew nothing about toilets.
Yeah.
We knew nothing about refrigeration. But the passion and the vision that we had is the one that made us to be where we are today. We are running one of the best and professional toilet company. And when we started with refrigeration. I remember at some point, we were still in the beginning. They stole one of our fridges, and they thought the person thought maybe they will break our spirit, but didn't know that no, they are multiplying with that. So today here we are. We are very excited, and we love what we are doing, and we are now qualified. I can say qualified. People, yes.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Yes.
So what makes you so passionate about something that is, you know, it's a very unique industry. You deal with like sanitation, you know, like it's waste in a way, right?
Yes.
It's a waste business.
Yeah.
So how do you find passion in the waste business? Do you get it?
Yes.
Yeah.
What happened? It's, you know, when we started, me and Sagi were always saying, no, we don't want to go into toilets. We don't want toilets. Toilets we don't want. We are fine with these refrigerations. Yeah. We are fine. But, you know, the market led us to go to toilets, because people will say, hey guys, we need refrigeration, we need fridge and we need toilet. We need fridge, we need toilet. So in a way, they were telling us what we want. And our duty is to serve the people. So we had to do what they want. We gave them what they want, and now we're giving them best service, quality service.
Okay. Nice, that's great. So my question is what, I like what you said about you gave the people what they want. You started initially doing refrigeration.
Yeah.
So I want you to tell me, Saki, what would you say in terms of startup businesses? Just like you, for example, when you started with refrigeration, and then the market led you to be a leading mobile VIP toilet hire service business. You get me? So what would be your advice to people that are starting their businesses out there? Maybe they're still struggling with the service that they're offering, the different products that they're offering at the moment. What would be your advice?
My advice would be choose an industry. Don't be a jack of all trades. Choose an industry, and then once you choose the industry, find out what your core business is. Once you find your core business, that's what you strictly focus on. So I think the one mistake most small businesses are making is that they don't find their core. They focus on too many things at the same time at a very early stage. So I think what helped us was that once we found our core, we knew exactly where to put most of our energy. And I think that's what worked for us. So I'd advise young upcoming entrepreneurs, try find an industry. Once you find the industry, play around in it. Eventually it will direct you to the core of your business, and then that's where you strictly focus.
So basically what you're saying is that as they start, it doesn't really matter at the moment what they're really focused on, but as long as they know where they're going. Is that where you're going with the conversation?
Yeah, I think that is where I'm going. You must remember that you can have a big dream, but if you don't break the dream up into components, it will be hard for you to achieve the eventual dream or goal. So I think just breaking down your dream into small segments and then working to achieve each segment as you move, I think that will also assist a lot, or that is what has also assisted us a lot, because eventually when we started with the mobile refrigerators, we wanted to do refrigerator logistics, like have big trucks, but we couldn't afford them at the time. So the simplest way to start was to get something that is much smaller and mobile that we can put at the back of a bakkie, and then we can assist customers. So that is how we literally started. And I think the other thing Boyo forgot to share is that for the first 2 to 3 years of us being in sanitation, we actually didn't have toilets. We were outsourcing most of our units.
So for the first 3 years,
yeah.
So all the brand new people are seeing, it doesn't literally.
We didn't own.
We didn't own.
Okay.
We didn't own any units. We literally outsourced units from other companies, and we branded them. So we got units from different companies, we branded them Chillers on Wheels, and we started working with them. And then later on, that's when we understood that the brand was out there, and then we started buying our own units.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. So my other question as well is, how did those companies feel when you were taking their toilets and bringing them?
It's business, man.
It's business.
It's business.
Okay.
It's business.
And remember what we were doing by that time. We were not ripping anyone off. To hire a VIP toilet is 2.5. We were giving them almost 95% of the amount. We were getting only 5.
Yeah,
Which we were giving them something like 2 grand, we were taking 500 rand. So we were not doing. Now we knew what we were doing. We wanted to take the brand and put it in people's eyes. And by doing that, we didn't. By then, money didn't. It was never a problem. We knew that what is our goal, me and Sai, and the patients as well. We knew where we were going. Yes.
So the part of mine, 2.5, taking 2 grand back to the toilet owner. did you really have to, like, is it the price that they gave you when you're taking the toilet? Or you're like, no, this is what we're offering and we'll take this much?
No, I think obviously in any industry, only the pricing structure around a certain product. So what we were giving to them was the agreement between us and them. And at the time, it was a lot of money for those companies. But me and Boyo, I think the most important thing was that we were more focused on brand visibility and just for people to know who Chillers on Wheels is and what we do. So we were not really worried about the money side of things until we started buying our own equipment. But just that the biggest problem that we encountered was that once you have a company which is branded with your branding, you need to learn how to manage the quality of that company. Because I think the hardest part was actually getting to manage those companies. That is when we're like, no, we need to get our own units because now we can maintain them and manage them how we can. So the hardest part was just us managing those companies. So that got harder because we had to make sure they gave our clients the same service that we would give and the same quality that we would give to them. So yeah.
So the whole 2.5 thing, it really puts me on some level. So how did you really handle it? Just giving away, not necessarily giving up, but giving back almost 90% of your profits.
Remember, the equipment is theirs. It's not ours. We didn't have much power on that equipment. They have the power. Us, we're just taking the 500 rand for admin fee. Maybe you can just say admin fee is the 500 for.
Yeah.
And our logo being on the toilet. Okay. That's it. But it's their equipment. We have to do what they want. And the market is saying the toilet is 2.5. There's nothing that we can change. There's no way that I can tell a client that no, the toilet is 3,000. We want to take 1,000. Yeah. The client will go away. Yeah. Yes. So and the problem is the youngsters now, they don't want to be patient with their dream or with their businesses. They just want to mushroom into having money instantly, and there is no instant success. It can never happen that you can just mushroom from anywhere and have money. Now you want to start a tracking business. You have no registered company in your name, you have no brand, nobody knows you. You cannot walk into the bank and the bank won't give you anything. You can't come to us and she doesn't want to buy a truck, buy me a truck out payment. Who are you? We won't. So you have to start somewhere, small, big, you'll get there. So basically this is what we're saying. Be patient in your dreams and work hard on them. Not patience and sleep, work hard on them and they will eventually come through.
That's great. Now my other thing is, how are you able to balance between your personal life and business? Because from what you're saying, it looks like 100% of the time, or 99.999% of the time, you are on duty. Probably like 2 o'clock or something in the morning when someone wants to hire toilet, they're like, hey, they call.
I think from starting the business, we've really missed out on a lot of quality time with family, with friends, you know. But I think it's the vision that drives us, because even if you are with someone and you know you're actually supposed to be doing something for the business, your heart is not at ease. So I think with the vision that we had, it was always a matter of knowing that the business takes priority and we are building the business to a point where we wouldn't, because remember when the business started, we had to do most of the work. We had to do deliveries, we had to clean the toilets, when there's a breakdown, we had to go and fix the toilets. So as time went by, I think we hired our first employee 3 years later. And then as time went by, things started easing off because we could now get people to do some of the work for us. But it was quite tough. But also if you have a good support structure, like me and Boyo, we get along, we understand each other. And I think from where we're coming from, both of us have a good support structure, family-wise. Our wives are also so understanding. So yeah, I think that also assisted, because who doesn't understand, hey, you'd have a problem. Because boy, I remember at the time he was the only one who was married. So yeah, so it's quite tough. Yeah.
And that doesn't mean me and Saki, we don't have our differences. Because most of people think, most people tend to think that me and Saki, we don't have differences. Me and Saki, we do have our differences. And it doesn't mean having our difference, then it's like, hey, take your 50%, I take my 50%, go your way. We are both grown-ups. We both understand that we are running a business. We fight. After fighting, having our differences, we go together, we go and eat. There's no problem, or he will make food, or he will open his lunchbox, we'll eat together. One thing, no, this one, hey, poison. I won't eat because we had our differences. No. And hey, working between two jobs, it's not a child's play. It's not a child's play.
How bad did it get?
It got bad.
I remember one day there was they said premier or minister or president was going to Lephalale. Yes, so they wanted fridges there. So we didn't have, that time we didn't have any employee. It was me and Saki. He was at Eskom, I was at Eskom. I knocked off, I was stationed in Dendron, he was stationed in Leboa by the time, yes. We both, and we knock off at 4. So we had both to come back and take the
fridges to Lephalale.
Yeah, that time it's on Wednesday. It was on a Wednesday. We drove to Lephalale and came back, and the same morning we went to work. I remember that day
he slept in the garage.
Stay low. We stopped there for maybe an hour sleeping. When we woke up, it was like 5:30 in the morning. And we have to drive from there. Then I drop Saki home. Then I go home, I take a shower, I run to work. In the meeting that day, I was wearing sunglasses in a boardroom like this, sleeping. So it's a very interesting journey. If you can, some days means I could just sit and just reminding each other of those memories and laughing. And people don't know most of our stories. Me and him, we know them, and we just laugh around them. Say, hey, you that day, hey, this, hey. So, but it was a very interesting journey.
Man, we've come a long way. The journey, I would say a lot of things were not easy, because people think, chillers on wheels, they made it, it's easy. I think it's been a tough journey for both of us, because it was all sacrifice. Like imagine you are at work and you have two computers open the same time. Clients want quotation, there's work that you need to do also for your employer. But I guess the reason why we resigned, it got too much for us, because we couldn't find a balance between the two. So the business started taking a lot of priority over our work. So that is eventually when we're like, no, we can't manage this anymore.
Choose one.
You need to choose one.
And by that time, you're working hard, you're doing everything. And people are saying, no, these ones they're funded, or no, these ones they are fronted. It's not them who's working there. They know nothing about us. We are doing the spade work. We started this thing from ground upwards. So we are not shaken, really. We are solid.
You know your story.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. And since now you told me about personal, what would be one of your, I'd say, worst and best experiences in the business? One of your best times and one of your worst times being in business throughout the years.
I think from my side, I had my worst time last year, December. It was so hectic that I think we're doing 3 events in one night, and like 3 major events. Like I'm talking about a total of almost 30,000 people, sanitation. So we are doing church conferences, music festivals. I remember the Tuesday, the Monday we had to prepare and go to Lephalale. So we had to work the Saturday and the Sunday. So once we were done with the Saturday event, preparing to go to Lephalale, but then the units were not ready to go to Lephalale. So like the whole team had to come out and drain all the units, and then the machine that we use for draining units broke down. And that time clients are waiting for toilets, go Lephalale. So imagine with the whole waste that you were seeing, and we had to find a way to do it. I had an exam the Tuesday, I was writing, and I had to be in Joburg the Monday. So when I got home, I was all brown. You can tell what I was brown with. And yeah, that was like my worst experience. And I was like, shucks, what did I get myself well, what did I get myself into? Yeah. And I think the greatest experience about what we do is just driving into the office each and every day and looking at what God has done, looking at the people that we've employed, and looking at the assets that we currently have, and actually say, wow, every day for me it's the same feeling of just feeling overwhelmed and understanding that God has really come through for us. Yeah, and seeing where we are, because we used to dream of times like this. We used to dream of moments like where we are right now, even though we are still gonna accomplish a lot more. But actually seeing something in your subconscious and actually witnessing it is one of the best feelings that you could ever feel. Yeah,
I remember that day when he got into that accident, Saki. He called me. I was driving to Lephalale because we had to separate, because most people always see us together, but when there is big events we have to just separate. And remember, in all those events, our units, we using the same units, the spec is the same. If this event they're saying we are expecting this kind of people, this number, we need this kind of spec. The same spec that you see on this music festival is the same spec that you're going to see at this church. It's the same spec that you're going to see at this presidential address. Yeah. So we had to take the same units to and all those events. Sagi called me, I was on my way to Lephalale, said, hey, Mechomi, I think I need counseling. So now I'm surprised to, I think this guy, I just left him like 5 hours ago. Counseling for what? Hey, I need counseling. Hey, what's up? Hey, no, it's Terry. Some surprise, like, yeah. So those are those memories that we went through, and the joy is after my joy is after doing all those events. Then you reflect back, say, no, my man. We look at each other, say, Mechumi, how we did it. And there's no client that is complaining. Every client is happy with the service, say, no, top-notch your service. But behind the scenes, nobody saw the behind the scenes. We are the ones that knows about the behind the scenes. Yeah. The clients see a perfect toilet, a clean toilet. Yeah. Yeah. So those are the cherishable moments.
Okay, so basically, how did you feel knowing that you were holding pieces in your own hands? The thought of it, didn't you to some, because you just said now that you needed counseling, you felt like you needed counseling, so didn't you feel some type of craziness in that type of,
yeah, we've always known but this was like the first time literally all of my PPE had feces on it. And yeah, that was like a wake-up call saying, no, we are in it. But I would still do it again. I mean, we go from Sunday service in suits into the storage thingies. Yeah. So man, it was just a wake-up call at that time, because the pressure was so much, and we had to deliver, and we had to work at a very rapid rate. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And the other thing is, I want you to tell me, like, how has marketing for your business been? How did you really tackle getting into different industries? I know part of the advantage of being in business is that when you offer a service, when you offer quality service, which is what you do, referrals as well help you, in the long run. And on the side of literally, how were you able to get, like, were you at a point where in the business you know that you got a client purely because of marketing, not because of referrals, not because of anke, guy, whatnot, you get me? Purely because of marketing.
Yeah, I think when it comes to our marketing, I can say almost 70% of our clients come from the marketing that we do and the marketing plan that we have in place. I think how we managed to penetrate the industry was that we started off with a certain area of the business. So we started off with VIP units. So those are luxury units. So we started off with luxury units, and then we created a brand. We bought the best quality units. We brought janitors to come and take care of the units, and then we just made sure that our quality is so good on the units. And then from there, that is when we actually started looking at other portable toilets for construction sites. But at the time, our market had grown. Our market had grown so much. So I think we targeted a certain area of sanitation, and we worked on it to build a brand. When it got to where we wanted it to get, we started now looking at other areas where we can expand in, of which some of the industry we haven't yet fully infiltrated, but we knew that at least part of the market share we had in a certain area of the business. Then now we are slowly but surely penetrating into other markets as well. And I think that is how we have done it. Our marketing has literally been on targeting different types of target audiences. So now in terms of the portables that we've recently introduced into the business, we are targeting mostly construction sites and mines. So we use different marketing tactics to do that. Because we're now on social platforms, we have billboards, and we have vehicle brandings and all of those.
PPE is branded. Yes.
So I like how you're talking about when you say that 70% of your clients, because I think most businesses don't see the need of investing in marketing. I don't know if you get me, especially when they build their business from ground up. When you know that they know their clients, it's a personal personal thing. So where do you see yourselves in the future, maybe in the next coming 5 years as a sanitation business?
Our goal is always to be one of the best sanitation company, nothing else. We want to see ourselves dominating the whole province of Limpopo in every sector, being mining, construction sites, farming. Sanitation is needed in every place where there are people working. So we want to see ourselves tapping in that market, and also not for us to be bigger, but to help other young people to grow with us as well, because it's not helping for us to grow alone. We need to carry other youngsters with us to the top.
Nice.
Yes,
I like that. And what I also want to hear from you, I've seen like you love branding. It's like you're obsessed with branding.
Yes, branding is the heart of the business. Because without branding, you are nothing. Nobody knows you. I can walk on the streets wearing this other brand that I'm wearing now, walking around the street, nobody will associate me with anything. Or maybe they can just say, no, this one is a run. But if you are branded, you are Chillers on Wheels, people, they see you that, no, I think I know that company from somewhere. This guy, Akawa Vereka Chillers, man. You are easily connected to something or aligned to something because of the branding. So without the branding, you are dead. No pulse.
So what would be advice for like small businesses? Like, do you really advise that they invest a lot in branding before they move to marketing, or should they invest in marketing first before they move into branding?
I think from my point of view, the two play a very big role, because you can brand your product, but people still not know about the product. So it's important for you to know who you're targeting, in which place, at what price, and how you're planning to promote the item that you also selling. So if you can do that, then it becomes very easier for you. But branding, I mean, branding, it's the bloodline of a business. So if literally you stop branding or marketing, you have stopped the blood flow in the body. So the body will stop. So someone needs to connect this t-shirt to a vehicle, from the vehicle to a Facebook page, from the Facebook page to a website, from a website straight to our offices or straight into a sales. So if people can link your product, like now if someone sees me wearing a Chillers on Wheels t-shirt, and then one day they happen to want or need a mobile toilet, they're supposed to find me when they search for me on the internet, and immediately they find me, that's a sale in the pocket for me. That's if I'm selling the product at the right price. Yeah, so I would advise small businesses that put money into branding. Branding will help you grow faster. And then once you can learn how to incorporate branding and marketing, I mean, they fall under the same umbrella. But once you can learn to incorporate the two, it will help you grow much more faster, and your brand will be out there much more faster as well. Yeah. And
people will also take you serious.
Yeah.
You know that when you walk into someone's house or someone's yard, when you are fully branded, that person gets some sort of relief. Say, oh, yes, these are professional people. I'm going to get a service that I need. Oh yes, now I can relax. My event will go well. But if you can just walk in someone's yard like a mashamplani, no branding, nothing, people will start, hey, they'll call you, hey, or if they want someone to erect the tent, they can just easily go call you, or they want someone to fetch water. Hey, simply because they can't associate you with anything. Maybe you are one of friends or cousin, but when you are branded, no problem. They can just easily say, no, this person is this one. Yes.
Yeah, and the other thing, just before we close that issue of branding, it's the issue of brand promise. Whatever that your brand promises, it needs to deliver. Because if now you have branded yourself, okay, great, but the brand promise is not delivered, then you can literally kill your brand. Because very good, bad news spread faster. Yeah, so you can literally kill your brand if you don't deliver brand promise. So you can brand your product, but remember that eventually you need to give the client what is expected of the brand. So once you've built a brand, build a brand promise on it to say, this is my brand and this is the promise that I attach to my brand. That wherever you see a Chillers on Wheels toilet, this is how you'll find it, and this is what to expect out of it. Because people feel much comfortable when they get a service that they know what to expect. So yeah.
See that. This is like so informative.
What would be your advice in terms of people that are running startups, or you're just about to put your idea into flesh? You get me? What would be that advice in terms of where should they get resources? Where must they go? You know, who should they follow for inspiration? Do you get the question?
Yeah, I got it, Matt.
Yeah.
Sarami.
Where should people go for inspiration when they're starting out in the beginning? What must they do?
Okay. I think one of the first things that they must do it's being realistic to yourself. When you have set your goals your goals must be realistic. You must not want, like we were saying before, or you can't want to start a trucking company, Mara, you also already want a 5 million loan from whoever. So what you must do now is you must follow on your Facebook, your Instagram, whatever. You must follow people who have built their businesses from the ground upwards. Always align yourself, like Sagi was saying of the camera network. you must know worrying. If there are people who are worrying, they have built their business genuinely. I want to know phone. I was maximo na ultima any information because everything is genuine. I want to know everything we this is how I made it. So now I believe you must just associate yourself with the right people.
All right. I like that. Associate yourself with the right people and your network. Now, my other question is, throughout the years, it's been hard. Yeah? At the same time, fun. But then, I want you to tell me, what is it that can keep one strong in business? What is it that can sustain them? When you know that probably there'll be months of no proper income, or there'll be months of no income at all, or there'll be months where you're doing so well, what would be your advice in that scenario? What will keep businesses strong through the... Just like now, we're in a pandemic. Most businesses are not operating. Some are operating differently. You get me? Like you see,
at a 20% rate.
Yeah, restaurants have to be drive-throughs. Now people can't do walk-ins. The market is not the same anymore. How can they stay strong?
From my side, I think this is something that no one anticipated. But I think budgets, you know, sometimes when you operate as businesses, we don't really have budgets, especially when we're doing well. We only start seeing matata when things get tough. So I think keep to your budget. Also, as a business owner, I would advise a lot of people to pay themselves salaries. Like, don't just pay yourself different salaries based on what or how much you are making monthly. And also make sure you save up for rainy days, because I think this caught a lot of people off guard. And then now it's actually people see that if they had saved up enough, they might have survived or could have survived this pandemic. So yeah, I just think have a budget, live within your means, save up for rainy days. That is quite important for any business. I think from our side, it will be good to say at least have enough capital to run for 3 months operational expenses. Then you know whatever happens within the 3 months, you are covered, you know. But most businesses just operate for the mere fact they're making money. But when rainy days come, you're like, shucks, I really didn't need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you have to cut on certain things that you have already overspent on. So yeah.
And mostly the things that we overspend on, it's lifestyle.
Yeah.
I think that they don't even it doesn't even it doesn't have anything to do with the business. Mara, we are spending on that, so we just have to plan on that. And like now it's COVID, I think the most important thing now is just to stay in your lane. Even in these hard times, just stay in your lane, because you'll find but now because of run around, let's change our model of business, let's this off. Understand? So, and save for rainy days. Yes, accept the COVID, you didn't plan for it, just accept the circumstances and the situation now. It has affected all of us.
Yeah, and I think also those are very good time for businesses to just go restructure their models, you know, and also just get that inspiration back, get that drive back. I think this is a very good time, you know, to go back to the basics, because we get so caught up in this busy world of trying to make it, of trying to grow our business, that we actually forget about ourselves, you know, that we also need to have a balance if we're going to be successful. So to young businesses that are still growing, the advice, like I said, would be your expenses, control those. There are things that are liabilities to the business that you really don't need, but you have them. But at times like this, you find that it's when you're going to feel it the most, because you have a truck that is just sitting there but without any work. So it literally becomes a liability.
You're paying for it.
Yeah.
I like what you just said. I like what you just said earlier about staying in your place. You know, staying in your place. So I wanna find out from you. You know, like right now you have a business in this, and like changing business model, you know, like keep your business model the same. Right now we're in a scenario whereby a business that used to sell couches, all of a sudden they're selling masks, they're selling sanitizers. you know what I'm talking about, right? So in terms of your brand, you know, your brand identity and how you keep your standards the same, you know, what would be advice in terms like to businesses out there, like what would you say? Don't sell masks because this is what your company is doing, or what would you say? You know?
Now it's a win or lose situation. It's what is happening now. Nobody planned for it. Plan no mask. So it's just a matter of some will make it, some will lose. They've invested a lot of money. They've taken their last money. They've bought those things. They won't make. Chances are they won't make their money back. But no loser. Don't do like a grachi. So it's very important to when as a person, do you want to stay in your lane or do you want to gamble? You gamble on something that you didn't do any study. Now about any study it's just a matter of no. Let's buy mask. Yes, no, let's buy sanitizer. That thing it can work. So it
yeah, I just think maybe because of this pandemic, everyone seems to be in a panic mode, especially business people. But I mean, like I said, there's no need for us to panic. All we have to do is see where the world is going and change with the world, especially in the line of business that we're in. We're in sanitation, you know. There will never be a point where a lot of people don't go to toilets. There will never be a point where people are in remote areas and don't need toilets. So I think for us, it's more about re-strategizing and also just planning in terms of what is our next move when it comes to the sanitation industry. But taking money and going to start something else, I don't think that is part of what we want to do or the vision that we had for the business, because what it says is that now you're starting something completely new. Yeah.
So it's always good to stay on one thing. So rather perfect the craft than changing.
You know, I think maybe different strategies work for different people, but I think for us what has worked the most is putting 100% into what we are focusing on. I always remember the saying, so the strategy has worked so good for us that we know that when the business gets to a certain level, then we will diversify the business into other sectors that we're interested in. But for now, if I'm 100% and Boy is 100%, we are bringing 200% onto the table to grow the business. So you find you competing with someone who brings maybe 30% to the table because they've got sanitation and 10 other things that they're working on. So we become literally industry aspects in what we do. Yeah.
So when will you know that this is where you need to change your strategy, this is where you need to close your business, or this is where you need to change the idea overall? Or just shut everything down and continue to different industry?
Yeah, I think it has to do with your sales. If you're not meeting your sales, you're not meeting your targets, then it doesn't make sense. The main aim of a business is to make profit. So if you're not making profit and you are living from hand to mouth, that is quite a dangerous time. Even though I can't say that you must close down the business, but I would say that you really need to look at other components in the business that might be causing you not to meet your targets. So it's quite important to, on a regular basis, reevaluate your strategies of targeting customers and getting sales into the business. So yeah, that's what my thought is about. When is it the right time? I can never say it's the right time, but I could say that if financially it's not making sense, then there's no need for you to continue. Yeah.
So you wouldn't want to work at a loss at all?
Look, at some point in the business, you are gonna work at a loss. I remember when we started, we were literally working at a loss, but we knew what we were doing. We knew the strategy that we had in place was not to really make much of a profit, but that's when we really cut down on our expenses. I remember at the time we didn't have an office, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have a lot of things because we knew that most of the money had to go to a certain area of the business for the business to expand. So minimize your expenses. Make sure that they're controllable, they're not out of control. Yeah.
Every business has its own customers. So it's just how you structure your business, how you go out to get those clients, how you convince people to buy your product. Like Sagi is saying, we now I won't encourage people or close your business. Just look on what wrong things you're doing on your company or in your business. Surely there's something wrong that you're doing. You have to just revise and or how can I put it or because sometimes people they're missing to separate their lives and the business. I don't have money, but the business has money. That's a fact. Yes, so you must be able to differentiate those two things. You can't get $1 million rent from a client, then you think that $1 million rent it's kia boyulisaki roja 500. No, that millions belongs to Chillers on Wheels. Me and Sagi will get our monthly salaries that we agreed upon so that the business can be able to operate on its own. Yes.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I believe we've reached the end of our session, and I'd like to thank you for taking this time, sacrificing your time that you're supposed to be doing other things, and coming and discussing and helping businesses grow.